Hello, welcome to Sister Talk TV show. I'm your host, Deetra Kelsey. We're closing out Women's History Month, and so we're going to shout out women who have made an impact on our lives. But before we do that, we will talk about hot topics and what's going on in your world. With me to discuss these topics are Carmelita Turner. She's a realtor, licensed in Virginia and Maryland, an investor, a consultant, and the host of the Realist Realtor podcast. Hey, Carmelita, how you doing?
Hello, Deetra. I'm gonna have to take you on tour with me. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming. Up next, we have Morgan Holland. She's a coach, author, publisher, and owner of her own publishing company, Mullen Press. Morgan, welcome to the virtual stage of Sister Talk TV show.
Hey, thank you so much, Deidre. I appreciate being here.
And I appreciate you being here. Up next, we have Ms.IreneRenee, returning Sister Talk host guest. She's an educator, performing artist, and some of you all have seen her on Sister Talk performing, and songwriter, and she is a fantastic soulful singer. Hello, Miss Irene.
Thanks for having me. I'm so glad to be back. Thank you for having me on the show again.
You're always welcome. You know that. Hey, so like I said, we're going to talk about hot topics, women that have impacted our lives. So let's just get down to business.
All right.
Ladies, sisters, women.
Yes.
Have Black women broken the glass ceiling? And I say this because we have Kamala Harris, she's the vice president of these United States. We have Ketanji John Jackson, nominated for the Supreme Court. Ava DuVernay, we all know her. She's the first person to direct Black woman to direct $100 million movie, A Wrinkle in Time. I mean, I can go on and on. Channing Dungey, the first African-American programming chief of a major broadcast network, which was ABC, and she fired Roseanne because
right.
But seriously, have Black women broken the glass ceiling?
I'm gonna jump right in, and I'm gonna say, even though we have all this Black girl magic, my bar is, are we making equal pay? So the Equal Pay Day was just March 15th, which means that that's how far women have to continue to work in order to meet what a man would make in a year. So that was March 15th, right? So that means that we have to work 75 extra days in order to make what a man makes. Now we have, those awesome names that you mentioned. So of course, they're making more than men. But when you talk about the average woman, right, I just don't think that we're there. Because my measurement stick is the pay.
Okay, how about yourself, Morgan?
Okay, so Ms. Irene said equal pay. My thing is equal work. So when it comes to Black women in these positions, they are either, in my opinion, A, overqualified. They could have been in that position years ago, or B, they are cleaning up somebody else's mess. So not only are they getting paid less, they're doing more work all the time. So I don't think
something, I'm going to piggyback on what you said, Morgan. I saw a poster on Facebook, and it said, F it, let a Black woman do it. So, it's a mess, get a Black woman in, just clean it up,
Wow, clean up somebody's mess.
Okay, how about yourself, Carmelita?
Yeah, well, and that's why characters like Olivia Pope are so celebrated, because everybody, the entire world wants a Black woman to fix it and clean it up, even within our own community. So I kind of don't worry about a glass ceiling per se, because even those average numbers that we see from reports like from the McKinsey group clearly show that that's for the average white woman. It's not for the average Black woman. So if the white woman got to work 75 additional days, we probably got to work 200 additional days.
That's right.
Okay,
right.
so I don't measure my capacity by a lot of these reports and statistics. I mean, come on, I'm a researcher from way back. I probably should have been an actuary in another life. Statistics will say what we want them to say, but the reality is we have to, number one, really step into our power in a lot of lanes. And I agree with Ms. Irene and Morgan. We have to understand that we are not the fix-it woman. We are not Superwoman. We should not have to clean up behind everyone and everything. We should not have to come 200% better than everyone else. And that we have to collectively work together against that, collectively work, just on ourselves and our expectation of our own value, create lanes for ourselves. And then I'm gonna say it, Black community, and support Black women as they are, building many tables and chairs for themselves.
Can I jump in? I want to say this. There is an old or something sweet about knowing that you can count on a Black woman. Not that we want to clean up everybody's mess, but we are capable, and people know that we do that, right? We come and do a good job. So it's about, yes, we have that reputation. Yes, I don't know, that thing, that heavy weight is put on us. I appreciate it, but it's not like, you don't want to show up with your cape every day. You need a resting place as well, right? But I think there's something noble about people knowing that Black women are strong, right? I mean, I think sometimes that's cliche, but it's a reality for us. We carry a lot of weight. We should be celebrated for that, but I don't think that it should be taken for granted. Maybe that's what I want to say. We shouldn't be taken for granted. That's the gold standard for us. You know what I mean? Like, we got to come and fix up everybody's.
I don't want to carry the weight, because I don't want the weight to put me 6 feet under. I'm sorry,
absolutely.
Morgan.
That's right. Absolutely. You're right about that.
I see what you're saying, Ms. Irene. It's nice to know that it's there. But
Yeah.
treat me like an insurance policy. And the only way you do it is when you die.
Oh, that's right. No, don't treat me like an insurance policy, right?
We clean it up.
Look, everybody show up and pull your own weight.
We clean it up, and then once it's clean, somebody else want to come up.
Somebody else come and take over, right?
So who was president before
yes.
this person was president?
And so the Democratic Party should take note, right? Black women always got to show up and clean up messes.
Well, let me be the devil's advocate just for a second.
Okay.
For a moment. Okay, visually, we see so many Black women doing things, entrepreneur. Okay, I'm in the entertainment industry. This is what I love. So I'm looking at Shonda Rhimes. I'm looking at Issa Rae. Okay, let's go over to politics. Stacey Abrams, who got Warnock in because she felt like these people took her vote. She should have been governor. Right. So she went on a campaign and got all these people registered. What do you say about people that are looking at it visually? You have Black women that are mayors of cities like Washington, D.C., the mayor there. We have Black women that are chief of police, councilmen. They are moving on up. Yeah. So what do you say about that when somebody approach you and disagree with what you're saying?
What about the glass ceiling?
But you said look at it visually. They could not possibly step to me about any of those examples that you just gave, especially of Stacey Abrams. Yeah, she should have been in another position, but yet where is she? Getting everyone else elected and cleaning up after everyone else. And where has that left Stacey Abrams? You talk about the mayor of DC. You talk about all these, the chief of police, even our chief of police in Norfolk, Black female, very phenomenal, 200% more qualified than most of the other candidates. And what are they doing? Coming behind some other joker, cleaning up and having all that weight put on them. And guess what? Expectations that had not been placed on their mediocre colleagues that preceded them. So nobody gonna step to me about any of those examples, because again, like I said, everybody wants the Black woman as noble, and I'm not disagreeing, Ms. Irene, as noble as that may be, that we do make things happen. I'm not the doormat
Right.
Nor will I be. I don't accept it. As a matter of fact, I rebuke it.
Amen. Amen.
Wow. Let me tell you. So, as Black women,
Mhm.
in order for us, should we be cracking or busting through the glass ceiling? In order for us to be seen as equal, as far as in the workplace is
Just a
concerned.
level playing field, right? Just make it
Just a
equal
level
across
play-
the
What
board,
can we
right?
do?
Like,
What can we do? What should we do? And I know you probably spoke about that earlier, Carmelita, but
Oh no, I was gonna say, look, Morgan actually needs to be speaking to this because she got a whole movement around what we need to be doing.
You don't want me to tell you what I think you should do.
okay.
I what you should do is take care of yourself
Mm,
and anyone you are legally obligated to take care of, and
Boom.
cut everybody else off.
mm.
Leave. You're a whole Black woman. You can save everybody else, save yourself. Whatever you're doing for a company, you can do for yourself. And then if you want to, only do it with other Black women who do it for themselves. Like, you don't need nobody to see your value. You don't need an equal level playing field, because you don't even need to play on that field at all.
Mm.
Black women, in my opinion, are America's bottom chicks, okay?
Mhm.
The first thing you need to do is pull back.
Yeah.
Pull back all that you're doing, unless you just feel so completely called by the Lord. He spoke to you and said, do this thing this day.
Right.
Don't do it. Pull it back and take care of yourself. First yourself, then your spouse, then your children, then your community, in that order. Because
I think it's a double-edged sword, though. I think that's a double-edged sword, because all of our interests are different, right? Some people want to be CEOs, some people want to be mayors, people want just a variety of professions that are out there. And in order to be in that profession, you can't just focus on being an entrepreneur. You see what I'm saying? So we talked about occupying a lot of different spaces, right? So that we're heard and valued and seen. So we
That
can.
doesn't negate self-care though.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that we negate
That's what I said. That's why I added a caveat. If you feel called by God, or there's some purpose, there are many Black women who know not what they even like or who they are.
Correct.
They're simply following things that make sense. They decided when they were 18 years old and they got in school, I'm going to be a lawyer and I'm going to move on and do this stuff, when just last week they had to raise their hand to go pee. So what I'm saying is, unless you feel so called and motivated to do something, don't do nothing. Because some of these people, especially activists, they can be activists for anything, because they are so good. That's like a debater. A debater can debate anything. A salesman can sell anything. So LeBron James is not just good at basketball. He's probably good at numerous things. Asking the Black woman, are you doing what you're called to do? Or are you doing what you've been doing? And that's why you're doing it. Or are you doing what people assume you should do? Or are you doing what comes easy for you? You know what I'm saying? Or what people, like if you meet a tall Black man and he like 6'7", he's 16, you assume he plays sports. He might want to paint. So I'm just saying, unless you feel called and you're motivated and that's your calling to do that, then do it. But I'm also
think that many times we're even given the opportunity to figure that out for ourselves, because I know from a very young age, we are groomed and kind of taught that there are certain expectations of this strong Black woman. There are certain things that we've seen our matriarchs do that, we may not have understood, but just in our observation, we tend to do it anyway. And we took that weight on. And that is why we have higher incidence of heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, aneurysms. Like all of that weight is killing us, guys. It's killing us.
You can't be both. You can't be doing and be seated. Okay. So when you are, for whatever type of woman you want to be, and this speaks to what type of woman you want to be. You want to be in your feminine energy. You want to be served. You want men to treat you a certain way. You want to attract certain things. You got to be seated. One thing babies do so well, especially the ones that can't walk, they get everything done for them. They stay seated. right? So let's look at at some little kids. They be seated and they just expect, and they don't even have no word. That's how
Let me jump in. Let me just say this.
A conversation amongst white women where they're talking about how noble it is for them to be considered strong. I've never heard one. And if I'm wrong, please direct me to it. I've never heard a panel of white women talk about that.
Being strong.
Never have I and I'm not a young chick. But
isn't that part of our culture, that strong word? Because Black folks have been through so much.
Who gave that to you?
Well, let me throw this one out. Self-reliance, right? Like we can't expect people to take care of us, right? So while there is mistreatment and what we set out to do, but we have to take care of ourselves, right? When you speak to a woman who can't rest in her feminine energy because she's got to get out there and bust her hump every day because she wants to eat, she wants a warm bed to sleep in, she wants some light, some electricity.
That's only one way to be that. That's the only way to do. What I feel like is what I would teach my daughter when I birthed one is she will be self-sufficient, but not reliant. Interdependence is the goal, is the key. We need men, okay?
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. We need men. We need them. We're gonna have to move on. I want my guests to know who you are all about. So we're gonna start with Carmelita. Carmelita, you're a licensed realtor. You're a consultant and a marketing strategist.
Yes, I am.
Okay, you work for the Black Experts Empire, which I am a student of. Tell us about the Realist Realtor podcast.
Well, thank you. So I actually, my origins are in education. So I spent over 2 decades as an educator, retired as a countywide administrator. I was a principal. Of course, I started in the classroom. That is, to me, where the victory is. So then I went into real estate. I've been doing this now for about 14 years. Educating people in a new way. So Call Carmelita was a brand before any of the additional folks that I took on as clients. And so I have worked with many notable programs like Black Experts Empire, as you mentioned. And I am actually a consultant. I am a operations and framework strategist. So a lot of times when I say people haven't had a chance to even figure out which way they're going, I see it in real life and in real time. So a lot of the work that I do with my clients, there's a lot of self-discovery that happens first. And then I help them create their roadmap and oh my gosh, they blossom.
And we got to call Carmelita. How about yourself, Morgan? Tell us about you. I know you have a publishing company, Mullen Press. Tell us about how you started that in the book. You have The Merge, briefly.
You mentioned it, The Merge. Okay, so my name is Morgan B. Holland. I own a publishing company called Mullen Press. First book I ever wrote was The Merge, Love Yourself to Freedom. It's a novel. It got started. That's how I started to get my voice, because there's something about using your voice when you say stuff out loud. It affects your central nervous system. That's why we don't speak about certain things, but you can write it out. And so that's what I did. And 1 turned into 2, turned into 3, and book 4 is coming out soon. And so Mullen Press is here. It's going to be here for a long time to help you narrate your story in your voice.
And I can't wait to read The Merge. Ms.IreneRenee, educated performing artist and soulful singer. Wow, what are you doing now? I know you're a teacher.
Yes.
Working
my butt off. Working my butt off so I can finance the next project. So I'm elevated out of the classroom into like administrative case management counseling.
Oh, so you're not teaching?
No, I'm still teaching too, girl. I said I'm working my butt off so I can finance this next project. So case management, case counseling, and teaching at night, side hustle, just anything to draw in some extra funds so I can get the next singing project off the ground.
I know that's right. The soulful singer. She sang on Sister Talk and all that. Okay, we're going to take a break and we will be right back.
As much as I wanted to, I didn't. All right? Reverend Grace said 2 wrongs don't make it right, man.
But you even. Are you with Shirley like that? You in love like that?
Yo,
Is that what we're doing?
listen, she not that type of girl, all right? She a church girl. What? The preacher's daughter.
Even worse. What? Did you forget what I told you? You must have forgot what I told you.
Listen.
Look, these girls ain't loyal. Especially preachers' daughters. Listen, do what you need to do with a man and get rid of him.
Listen, that's not why I'm in church then, all right? Reverend Grace invoked the Holy Spirit and it changed my life. I'm saved, Damon.
You're saved.
Yes.
Well, where was Reverend Grace in the church when Malik brought you to me crying? They killed my father! They killed my father! Where was that?
Wow.
We were with you. 10 Corners was with you. Not Reverend Grace and his Harvest Church. What are they? So you gonna turn your back on us? For him with the good suits? You gotta be kidding me, bro.
Tripping, man.
Really?
Listen. Right here. The Bible say revenge. I don't care what that Bible.
I don't care what that thing says. They told my brother, your best friend, and your father was dead. Malik walked to me at 12 years old. What did I do? I never let you out in the cold to tell me what Reverend Grace ever do. Was he in the church ever there for you? Huh? I see you rather turn your back. You a snitch, you're supposed to be cool. Side you on. We all know that God is on our side. But I was whose side are you on? The road you take will still your faith. Be wise about the choice you made. Whose side are you on? God gave you free will to choose. Salvation, damnation is calling. Whose side are you on? The road you take will still your faith. Be wise about the choice you made. Whose side are you on? God gave you free will to choose. Salvation, damnation is calling you. 10th Street chorus came to the aid. We were there, avengers, father, death, every day. We were there for you, taking care of you. All they gonna do is say a prayer for you. You gon' come, are you name? Are you on this side or with my plan? Which side you on?
All of my even doing is right. Don't let him deceive you, you know what's right.
Everyone comes to a point in their life where they have to choose sides. The devil and evil looks you in the face, but you refuse to see. Ask what it is. Whose side are you on? The road you take will seal your faith. Be wise about the choice you made. Whose side are you on? God gave you free will to choose. Salvation, damnation is calling. Whose side are you on? The road you take will seal your faith. Be wise about the choice you made. Whose side are you on? God gave you free will to choose. Salvation, damnation is calling you. Moses came down to the mountaintop with 10 commandments in his hand. He exalted the people that disobeyed God. In Exodus 32 and 26, Moses said, whosoever is on the Lord's side, let him come to me.
Stop the mind, even though it's right.
Whose side are you on?
We were there for you, time after time.
I'm asking you.
You were raised in the church, we never left you.
You better show and prove.
No, don't listen to him.
Don't you be a fool. When you're at the crossroads of your life, salvation for your soul is on the right. The path to destruction is all your left. Look and run always like oh yeah. Whose side are you on?
My head is spinning from your demands. I only one man.
Whose side are you on?
I gave my heart for both of you. Now why do I have to choose?
Whose side are you on?
Take the road I take will seal my fate. Be wise about the choice I made.
Whose side are you on?
But I did my best to rule both for you. Now what I gotta do?
Whose side are you on?
Welcome back. You're watching Sister Talk TV show. And what we're doing is talking about hot topics and actually what's happening in our world. The video you just saw was my gospel hip hop musical, Whose Side Are You On? You can go to the website, whosesideareyouon.com. You can book us or make a donation, okay? So, or just contact me with any questions, okay? So we're gonna get right back to where we left off. The pandemic, everybody. The pandemic, 2 years has passed with uncertainty. A lot of us have lost loved ones, gained new opportunities. Have we turned the corner? Now I ask that because Kamala Harris' husband has gotten COVID. President Obama has gotten COVID. All these celebrities, it seems, to have gotten COVID, and they have gotten the shot. But I just want to ask, do you think that is over, or is more to come, or is it something that we have to deal with?
Something we have to live with. It's in our environment now. So I don't know when it's going to officially, if we're gonna vanquish it and get it out of our environment. I don't know. That's for the scientists, but it's something that we have to just live with. I think we have to find our own comfort zone within this new reality and just move forward. So I'm not surprised to hear that, President Obama, contracted the virus. It's here, right? If you don't protect yourself, if you're not masking up or whatever the case may be, and we're relaxing those standards now. And so, it might happen. It's like the common cold now, but with more severity, right? So you choose to walk out, even though you're vaccinated and you're not masked up and you're in large groups, then that threat is still there, right? I mean, that's how I feel about it. I still masked up.
So what do you think, Carmelita?
Oh, well, the scientists actually most recently have said that, yes, it will be here for a while. I mean, it is kind of becoming like the flu. As far as its severity, the flu kills people too,
right?
With pre-existing conditions. Many people are inoculated against the flu and catch the flu.
Right.
So, I tend to, again, lean to my ways of knowing. The things that my matriarchs and patriarchs did for me when I was little. They used to make us take cod liver oil every day. I had no clue why, but we never caught a cold. Right. We were always regular. I still drink my herbal teas. I use my moringa powder, my sea moss. These are things that I was doing before the pandemic. So I don't know about turning a corner, but I do know that it will probably be here for a while, and we should all get back to our ways of knowing and keeping ourselves, our immune system strong, and our stress low.
Something, the key is get back to the way we know before. And also, Morgan, we're talking about a fourth shot. What do you think about that?
Oh,
a fourth booster shot.
Y'all don't want to ask me about these shots because I am one for the elderberry. I take that every day. I make my own concoctions with turmeric and ginger and lemon and lime. I'm from the family of you stay happy. You stay, because that fear lowers your immune system. I'm gut health. I take my probiotic every day, and your immune system lives in your gut. So if there is something with the R naught is kind of high. Like, so if somebody catches it, they can give it to somebody else, which is like a cold or stomach bug or flu. But the fatality rate is similar to the actual flu. So I lean more towards keeping myself healthy,
right?
Just because of the quickness that the shots are coming out.
Do you believe in the conspiracy theory that radiation or some type of bug they put in so they can track you with these vaccines and so forth? Do you all believe?
If they did, they would have put it in all these vaccines we'd have had over all these years. You know what I'm saying? I think that when we know better, we do better. And that's interesting. I love Morgan's answer, because Morgan I don't want to drop the beans, but as I didn't drop the beans, spill the tea, was once in the pharmaceutical world. So, if anybody should know that science, she knows that science well. So I find her answer to be very interesting. So I kind of, feel like my parents did the best they could. I still got my little booster shot. Anybody my age probably got that little dot on their arm, So I figure if they were tracking me, they got me. They got me.
We're all on the grid. Anybody off the grid,
so,
you got a credit card, you on the grid, right?
You're on the grid.
You got an address, you on the grid.
Your phone. I think people, they need to stop making this so divisive. I think people have the right to decide what they want for their bodies, whether that's the shot or not. I don't judge any group.
Right. As a teacher, I make it a point not to say whether I have been or not, because that's a personal choice. And I don't want to sway you, because I know the kind of, being a teacher, you're looking to me for answers, and you look up to me in various ways. So I make it a point that I don't have that discussion. You do what's best for you. I don't want to shame anybody for either decision. You do what's right for your body.
Yeah.
Wow. I think of this plague. I think of this virus as a plague in a way. I'm coming from a spiritual level.
Yeah.
I think it's from, God is telling us, be still and know that I'm God.
You definitely said it down in 2020.
Yeah, and I don't know if people, and really from any background, I think that as any book, if you're Buddhist or Muslim or what have you, God knows what's going on. Be still and think about it. And for me, the past 2 years was about reflection, was about pain. I thought I lost 4 people through this. It was very cathartic for me. And now that I feel that it's coming to an end, I feel I can break out and go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by break out? So have your goals changed? What's your
my goal was changing before the virus, but now is settled. It's set.
Okay.
When I
gloves are off. You
gloves
like
are off.
Go for the gusto.
Let's go for it. And
all right.
Don't get in my way. Please.
All right. Okay. I'm thinking about T.I. song, Move. Get out the way.
That's funny, Ms.IreneRenee, because I was thinking about
Ukraine.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ukraine. Let's talk about Ukraine. Yes, I'm sorry about that. I'm jumping. I really want to get to people in the news. Talk about Ukraine. This is mind-boggling to me. Yes. What do you think the outcome will be? I mean, do you have to give it? First of all, you have to give it up to the Ukraine for fighting. These people are standing there, letting the women and children leave. When they're coming back, the men and some women are coming back and say, "This is our country, our city. Let's go for it." Should black folks be concerned about the war? That's the answer of the question I'm asking. Should we be concerned about what's happening over there?
In what way though? Like, they have discrimination, right? The racism kind of got, the scab got pulled back, right? And we see that globally. We see that Black lives does not matter around the globe, right? That we still get treated a certain way, or people of color, right? That our lives aren't as valued. So in that sense, yes, when
you say worry, yes, we should.
Yeah. So that's something that we have to constantly deal with. That's something that we have to constantly work against and strive against, because we want to be valued across the globe. So I think in that sense, that's something that we have to constantly be aware of, that it's in our face, that we have to address all the time.
Anybody else?
Morgan.
Thank you. So
I love your smile.
I think it's so cute how Ukraine can fight for themselves, and they're encouraged to fight for themselves, and pull people from prison to fight for them, and to keep Black people there to fight for them. But when it comes to Black people anywhere in the world, we're told to be peaceful.
Oh.
So I just found it to be so keep the luxury of fighting.
That part.
Right.
Got a lot to say.
Oh yeah, who was it? Roosevelt was that even on the monument it says, "I hate war." So that is my answer. I do hate war. Now, that being said, because, I know in my gut, I am the descendant of warriors. I just feel it in my spirit. But, I almost feel like there are, times for peace and time for war, right? And everything I feel, I can only speak to my experience as a Black woman, comes from a purpose or a cause. We know that, yes, this was an unjustified move, but even I don't know if any of you even caught the address from the president of Ukraine to our Congress just one day ago, and to President Biden, and the appeal that they're making. They've actually, they've been 10 toes down. I mean, they have actually kind of stopped one of the second largest armies on the globe. And, so I think that, of course they could be commended for that, but I give no one a pass, no one, when you still have time for your racism to come forth.
And it did come forth. Hey, people in the news, that's why I wanted to jump to. Jussie Smollett, sentenced to 150 days.
Well, he's home now.
Yeah, he moved.
No, he's home. They released him.
I know. And they moved, that's what I'm saying. They put him in a psychiatric ward first, and now he's out.
Yeah, because they said that they're going to appeal it, right? And so they said that he can be locked up while they're under appeal.
I thought it was very interesting that he was sentenced. He said something about, I am not suicidal. And after that, they put him in a psychiatric ward.
Right.
So that's
why they let him out. And like, we weren't going to get you, but now we can't. You said,
so
I'm not suicidal, so don't let nobody put that on me.
So
y'all not gonna kill me today.
But do you think? I think we think that Jussie is not innocent, but it's too late for him to turn back. Or
I mean, I think the reality is, I do not hold Jussie Smollett up as a disenfranchised Black male in the prison industrial complex system. He's not that. So if you need my, here we go again, right? Who do they come to? The Black women. We need y'all to protest and do. But what I'm saying is my only advocacy and energy would go to those Black men and women who are legit part of that system, many times either unjustifiably or because of poverty. Because there are plenty of white people that should be sitting under 8 jails, but because they have the benefit of wealth and privilege, they are not. So therefore, I don't have time to think about Jussie and his 2 a.m. subway run, and I really don't care.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Morgan, we're gonna move on.
I disagree. I mean, this man got reminded real quick how Black he was. He got sentenced longer than people who rolled up onto the Capitol.
Wake up call. Right.
Okay,
let's talk about Tasha K. I think that's so interesting. Tasha K is ordered to pay Cardi B $4 million because according to the Cardi B, that she was saying malicious, untrue statements about her. And we heard those statements. They gave Tasha K enough time to stop doing that. But she went on. I remember she said that she got a cease and desist letter. I forgot. But anyway, she said, Tasha K, I remember her saying, I wiped my ass with that letter. That was foul to me. That was really foul. I was like,
you know what? But this is the society of, you got to get the clicks. And so she was trying to build her brand, and she used the biggest celebrity that was given her any time of the day, right? She baited her in, and she capitalized off of it. She built a large YouTube, format or whatever. So I think the YouTube community, it takes whatever they can get, right, to build the brand and to monetize, right? So
But Tasha K was already a brand and heavily monetized before that Cardi B. And let me tell you, I can go and talk about Cardi B right now on my channel because I don't care about Cardi B at all. And
Yeah.
she would not come for me. You know why? Because she knows she ain't getting nothing over here.
All
So,
right.
you know, she went after someone that basically called her bluff because she's about as vile and disgusting as they come out of her own mouth about her own life. So I don't care about Cardi B. And like I said, you know, her going after Tasha K was about money and a little bit of colorism. I'm gonna call it what it is because Cardi B ain't black. So cut it out. And so, you know, she's about as vile as they come. So, you know, I don't care about Cardi B. And Tasha K says she ain't got it. And she ain't gonna pay it.
Wait, hold on. I didn't hear that. Tasha K pumps herself up that she got millions. So
yeah, hold up. Y'all don't want me to teach you a lesson in here about business because Tasha K is a person, but our businesses and our structure is what protects us.
But she didn't go after her business?
I'm
Cardi B?
Look, it's all public record. I'm just letting you know what it is.
Okay.
Morgan, I want to hear from Morgan before we move on.
Move.
Morgan, I want to hear from Morgan.
You see a running theme here, but you go after Tasha K, and I'm just like, what? How have the tabloids been eating all these years? They make up stories all the time about multiple celebrities. Howard Stern. It's just Tasha K is not original when it comes to talking about someone famous. Correct. Everyone else can make a living out of it, a business out of it. It turns into generational wealth, but she gets what happened. It's just another example of
this black woman in the state of Georgia.
Hold on.
Hey, let's talk about this.
I do have to play devil's.
I know, but we gotta move on, Miss.
Okay. We can talk about that all day. Yeah.
Okay, should we still be talking about Bill Cosby?
No.
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 They did another documentary about him.
Sit down somewhere.
They did.
The prosecutor took him to the Supreme Court. And
well, if it's another documentary, I didn't know that. I won't be watching.
I forgot. And I already came on and said, guy, I think he's on, is he on CNN, Ms. Irene or Morgan? Damn. He's got a documentary, so let's talk about Bill Cosby. But anyway, the Supreme Court didn't want to hear it.
Neither do we.
But see, now how does that make that any different from what Tasha K does? Because they called it a documentary?
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? How do we start to draw
this is what I want to add to. Bill Cosby, he admitted to doing what he did, right? So that's indisputable. He did what he did, right? And he paid for it. Even though it was unfair about, you know, the prosecutors reneging and going back on their word. But at the end of the day, listen, my sister always said, what's done in the dark will come to the light. Oh no, what doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse. That's what she said. What doesn't come out in the wash comes out. So that's what happened to him. It's just it happened, right? So now, whether the people who prosecuted him want to took it to the Supreme Court to get it overturned. Okay, it didn't happen, right? So he just has to live out the rest of his days in peace, go sit down somewhere. You know, I don't want to see a documentary.
I think it's unfortunate though, because you had adults who were partying together and consensually using drugs together. And so that's different than a Cardi B who admits to drugging men and robbing them.
All right.
That's not consensual engagement in drug activity. I think
Tasha K should have had you for a lawyer.
Right.
Let's talk about Kanye West.
Say something on Tasha K. I think, listen, you know, whether it's a double standard and TMZ and the Inquirer and all those guys use those horrible tactics to build their brand. I think, you know, again, I think we have to be more accountable, right? Like, you know, Black people, we have to run faster, jump higher, do whatever. I think, you know, our integrity is more important.
And we're going to close on that note, and we're going to move on. I know time is running out. We can talk about this all day. Kanye West is in the news. He's going after Pete Davidson, his video, decapitated, burying him alive. D.L. Hughley says that he's a stalker, stalking his ex-wife. They're going back and forth. But I have to say, Pete Davidson, he did a serious clapback. And I saw that.
Wait, D.L. Hughley did the clapback. I was like, don't come for D.L.
And don't come from Pete Davidson said they were texting each
Yeah,
other
right,
on Twitter, and Pete said a curse, and I think Kanye West said, "Where are you?" And Pete said, "In bed with your wife." I was
Right.
like,
Oh, wait a minute, hold up.
Right.
Did you hear what you just said?
yeah.
So this former drug addict is in the bed with your wife. She's not his ex-wife. She is his current wife.
Yeah, but I think
That's-
that was a way to get him back. I think
Listen,
that
none of
after-
this matters.
he said
She
that
is his
after
current
the
wife.
judge said that
She's
Kim
married to this
Kardashian
man.
is a
They're
sex
not
offender.
divorced.
The courts legally said that she was single.
That-
Now I'm
listen.
like, does that mean divorce? But they're going through, I guess, some of the legalities about
The
property
woman
and all
is
that
his
stuff.
wife.
But-
And let me tell you, if she wasn't a Kardashian, and if he wasn't black, I don't care how much money you have, bipolar, Kanye West, you are a black man in America. Because if this white woman was Bon Chiqua, they would not give her a pass sleeping with an ex-drug addict in the house with your children.
And
Okay,
that's
let's get it straight. I don't think Kim Kardashian is white, but
Armenian.
You don't think Kim is white? What is she?
Armenian.
Armenian.
You know,
I don't know.
Muslim.
You know,
What,
Irish
it's all from the
is
European
white.
continent. What you talking
Armenian.
about?
That's
She's
white.
not.
Armenian
She's not.
having the
Please.
show. Really?
That girl,
Also no.
she identifies as European. Her pronoun is European.
Okay.
Okay.
I want you all to give out your contact number because we got to close the show out. We have a minute left, you said, Zaki?
Ooh, because I want to continue.
Zaki.
with Pete Davidson.
Okay.
DL, really. DL is a
Okay.
talk.
DL.
DL was
I
like, look,
want to talk
little
about
boy.
what
Let's
DL said.
close this out and we're going to continue after the show.
Yes, yes.
How can people get in contact with you all?
Go, Morgan.
okay. So hey, my name is Morgan B. Holland. You can find more about my products and services and the books that I write at morganbholland.com.
Okay, Ms. Irene.
Ms.IreneRenee, and the website is Ms.IreneRenee.com.
How about Carmelita Turner?
I am Call Carmelita, like pick up the phone and call, and my first name on IG and all social media platforms. And you can find a link in the bio to connect with me.
Okay. Hey, we got to close the show. It's been a tornado, a whirlwind up and down. Hey, I just want to give my shout out to everybody. This is Women's History Month. And, we don't, I'm going to try this. What woman, Zaki, do we have time for that? What woman had made an impact on your lives other than your mom? Or your relative?
If I had to pick a single woman for me, it would be Miss Diana Ross. Because she's just so feminine and sensual and just big hair and just walks in her power. And that's why I want to be like that. Just like
Okay, Ms. Irene.
Listen, I'm a 70s baby. And so there are so many women that I have witnessed on the, entertainment stage that has impacted my life. Even from just the, regular school teachers that I've had, people on my block, doctors, lawyers, people that I've looked up to. So I can't really, it would be unfair for me to mention just one name because it's not one person who's impacted my life and the way I view the world.
Okay, how about yourself, Carmelita Turner?
Yeah, no, I had to think about this. So I agree with Irene. It's definitely not just one person, but there's two teachers in particular that in my mind kind of morph into one person. Miss Witt, my kindergarten teacher, and Miss Morris, God rest her soul, both of them actually. And I'm going to tell you that the thing that constantly, you know how seeds are planted and then they take root, but then they don't grow until years later. One of them in particular was our gym teacher. She was the most feminine, dainty, in her feminine energy all the time. And I remember, and she always smelled good, but she was such a strong.
She was in her womanhood.
And and let me tell you, when I say she stayed seated, now you're not gonna cross her.
Okay.
But she never had to operate in that masculine energy. And I didn't even realize it back then. But now I'm a 70s baby. So now that I'm in the 50 plus club, I understood what they were showing me back then that I didn't understand until now.
I'm sorry, we have to close the show out. Zora Neale Hurston is mine, but you know, she made me realize I'm okay to be me. Okay, we gotta close the show out. I want to thank my guests, Morgan Holland, Ms.IreneRenee, and Ms. Carmelita Turner. This is Deetra Kelsey, and you just finished watching Sister Talk TV show. I want to give my shout out to Zaki Z Starman for creating this wonderful platform, Sister Talk TV show. And as always, I'm wishing you peace, love, and remember to stay in the light. Okay, let's talk about Bill Cosby, or I want to end this thing about Bill Cosby, and I want you all to end it with me. It was W. Kamau Bell. He made that documentary. Why not talk about Bill Cosby or something? I never watched the video, anything like that, but during this moment of pause, I call it the pandemic, I had to really search myself and my peoples. And one of them was Bill Cosby, who had done so much, watched him as a child. Not Sesame Street. Just watching him,
Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show. Even before that,
Fat Albert.
The documentary.
Fat Albert.
He was comparing and his short stories he wrote too about his childhood. So what do you all think about his victims? Do you think they have gotten peace? Because he did serve some time.
Who gave them that? Again, I'm sorry, like, I don't know who gave them that name. If I come to somebody's house and I've never done drugs, but I'm just saying, if I come to your house and we doing drugs or smoking grass, you know what I mean, weed or whatever, or, you know, doing whatever and everything. I mean, these are Hollywood circles. So my understanding, you know, drugs flow freely, as does alcohol, whatever. I don't know that life, right? You all are more attached to Hollywood than I am, but, you know, I mean, when we say victims, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Alleged victims, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, again, all of these things that it's still a double standard, because you're talking about things that who was the gentleman with the Playboy mansion or whatever?
Hugh Hefner.
All of the stuff that's coming out there, are we gonna call them victims too? Or are we gonna persecute his legacy too for all the stuff? I mean, he has a documentary out now too, but yet nobody's having this.
He had naked 10-year-olds. That was normal, and some of them went on to have successful careers as models, and that's abuse. And that's
who did he have in Playboy magazine? Who's an actress now?
Brooke Shields. She was 10.
Brooke Shields.
Yeah, Brooke Shields.
And she was
naked.
Yep.
She was 10 years old.
10 years old. She alive.
Can I jump in and just
she has mental issues too. And Tom Cruise was trying to say that this is not organic. This is something I felt he was saying that she needs to talk about. And I immediately looked at the film. I thought about the film she made. I never saw the entirety of that film, but it was nudity in that with a grown-ass man.
She was sexualized,
sexualized by her mother in those Playboy magazines, sexualized in the film. Yeah. I don't even know. I think the last thing I read about that was that she doesn't regret any of that, but yet some mental issues are occurring with her. You know, wow. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I want to put down. I just want to talk. I just want to end Bill Cosby.
I think Bill has the right to his legacy. I mean, Bill has done good things. So now what? We want to erase all of that? Is that what we're trying to do?
I don't think that. Okay, so I guess I have a different perspective. From this.
That's why you're here.
one of the stories that I heard from a Black woman, she was a model. And he didn't sexually abuse her or assault her, but he definitely was going to try. And so she talked about the incident about going to his house because they were supposed to have, I guess at various times.
Beverly Johnson, you're talking about?
What's her name?
Beverly Johnson.
Beverly, yes. I couldn't think of her name. And so what she explained was, people would have business meetings at their home and, come
Yes,
by,
they
I'm going to
do,
help
yeah.
you out, help you, get connected with whomever. So she went, and so she said that he gave her some coffee or something. They were having some coffee, and next thing you know, she said that she started feeling woozy, and she was like, what's going on? And so she said she felt him advancing on her or whatever. And so she was like, got out of there. And she talked about getting a cab and leaving. So she knew that she had been drugged. And so she was fortunate enough to get out of there. So I guess my position is this.
But didn't she go back?
I love the stuff
Didn't she go back?
No. I don't know. You know what?
She
I
did.
can't say that for
Yeah,
sure.
She did. She went back another time.
Okay.
She did.
I don't know,
yeah.
but you know what? Here's the thing. People, when they want something, right? And you're talking about show business and trying to get your foot in the door, you compromise yourself sometimes, right? You make bad choices, I think, because the whole Me Too movement, you hear a lot of stories that was based on your personal greed and you got caught up in a situation and you got abused. Right? The whole Me Too, every story that you can, and that's when it came out, the whole Me Too movement, right? You heard story after story about women who went to somebody's house or they felt like they were, had to do certain acts or whatever to get a certain job. You had a choice to walk away from that situation, but you chose not to because the job was more important, the role was more important, and you went for it, right? And so where's the accountability? So I'm saying let's be fair on both sides. Be accountable for what you did. Bill Cosby, be accountable for putting the drugs in, Quaaludes and all that stuff and people's coffee, okay? And the women be accountable as well for showing up in a space that you knew you probably shouldn't have been there alone, right? And then you perform whatever acts or whatever, you got caught up in a situation, take accountability.
You didn't get the
on
part.
both sides. Hmm?
They
Say that
didn't get
again.
the part. They didn't get the acting role, but go ahead.
Sister talk, sister talk, sister